matter who it is, 'cause I need just a little reefer. You see, smoking sweet as Chiba. A jazz cabbage in my lettuce bag. Sweet for my
This is Steve with the LevelUP Gardening Grow Show.
And I'm Nichole. We're here on episode 1, Meet Your Hosts, which might not be the best episode because it's going to be a little awkward. We don't really love talking about ourselves, but we want you guys to know who we are.
I don't have a problem talking about myself because I'm a man, and us guys, we love talking about ourselves. It makes us feel good because we just want to make sure you know how good we are.
You want us to know? Well, today you're going to find out because we're going to talk about ourselves a little bit. And we want you to know who we are, what we're doing, and like what LevelUP Seed and Garden Supply is all about.
Yeah, so this whole journey started about 3 years ago when I decided to open my own grow shop in East Peoria, Illinois. And me and Nichole went to school together in East Peoria.
Yeah, that's our hometown, our community there. Him and his wife started the business there. I wasn't working there at the time when they first opened it. And it was, I don't know, I think it was about a year after you opened, but you think it was a little bit sooner than that when I came on with you.
Yeah. It took a little bit of tugging and pulling to get you to come over, but you had a pretty good job, and you were in a field of dreams. She was in a field of dreams where she was at.
It's true. When you work at a big cultivation center that I was at, it is like the field of dreams. When you walk into those rooms and there's 1,400 plants flowering in a room. It's beautiful for sure.
That's awesome. So anyways, we started this journey and we opened a second store about a year and a half ago here in Springfield, Illinois.
Yeah, that's where we're at today. And so now we have both shops, one in East Peoria and one in Springfield. And I don't know how. I want you to tell me what the grow shop scene was like when you first started opening these shops up. You know, I know what we've learned since we've started, but I want you to just tell me a little bit about like what was going on with the grow shop world. In our area.
I didn't feel like there was any real good competition. It was just one store, and it wasn't that I didn't like that store. It was just that I think there needs to be competition. There needs to be a couple good stores, and then we all keep each other in check, and we do things the right way. And I was ready to do that. Thank God my family at home was on board with that decision because it's pretty stressful. And when we opened the first store in East Peoria, I actually signed the lease, took my pregnant wife to Steak and Shake, and she went into labor that night, and our son came early.
Oh, my goodness.
So it was pretty stressful living in the hospital with a store that we couldn't open and run yet, paying rent.
A store that you can't even get to because you're in the hospital with a new baby.
But everything turned out great. So
it worked out.
We're here now standing, and I'm glad I wouldn't change it for the world, you know?
Yeah. And honestly, what business were you in before you came into this business? Because that really helped to kind of set the pace for what you're doing. For sure.
Yeah. So I was in the HVAC business for about 13 years, customer service and heating and cooling. And it wasn't just one thing. I did everything, all the way to boilers, to chillers, to little residential units, to ice machines, to mini splits. And
I'm jealous because as a grower, having a background in HVAC is such a huge advantage.
Yeah, I like to work on my own stuff now, so I don't have to pay no one to work on it. So it's like, but I got into designing rooms for a couple people and helping a couple people out, and it was time to open my own shop, and because I felt like there was enough people that supported me and wanted to see us thrive, and so I made a decision. There was that big speed bump in the beginning, but we haven't looked back.
Yeah.
And
well, how long have you been growing? So you were doing the HVAC thing, but you've been growing for way longer than that.
I've been growing since '99, but I've been growing really good for the last like 8 to 10 years.
Quality
good stuff.
Yeah.
But back in the day, quality didn't matter. It was like pick the seeds and stems out. We loved it, you know.
We didn't know the science behind it the way we do now.
Yeah.
You know?
There was fire, but
yeah, and I haven't been growing as long as you. I gotta say, I kind of got into it where I learned to grow fire. That's all I've grown. Like I never went through the boo boo choo choo phase.
Yep.
Which, you know, because I was teaching at the time, so I wasn't growing. But that really, I think, helped with we also have grow classes, and we'll talk about that a little bit later, but it helped us to be able to have that foundation of let's teach people what we know. So me being a teacher and him being in the HVAC, combining those has just been really an easy transition.
It's a good team, and I love building teams because I'm going to try to do it the best I can. I feel like I'm really good at picking teams. Like I remember back in high school, I could pick a good team that's going to win the basketball game and PE,
Yeah.
So I surround myself with the right people. And
you sought me out. It's not like you didn't know what you were looking for.
And she was taking care of a lot of plants, so she's just not no little girl on the totem pole. She had some responsibilities, and she went above and beyond in her job, and now she's here with me, thank God. And she goes above and beyond for me, helping me manage both stores, and it's a blessing. I want to tell you thank you, Nichole. I know I don't tell you enough, but thank
so
you.
Nice. You're welcome. I love it. This job is it's a dream. We get to do our passion every day, and that's what it's all about, really. Is and then sharing that passion with our customers and all of you guys. And so we have the stores that we run, and then we have classes that we teach, and we have this show that we do. We also not just with the Grow Show. You have local artists and stuff that come in and from the community, that are all in the culture, and that's pretty cool because you can kind of see what the local scene is like around here. And what else do we have going on? So many different things.
Oh man, anything that has to do with caniculture, we want to be a part of, and
we do a harvest fest every year too, which that's kind of cool.
Harvest festival every year, but through our business, me and Nichole have learned a lot through our customers. It's been a fast forward pace learning environment for both of us.
Yeah.
So.
Well, people come in with all of their different. We've had to learn how. One thing, we have the way that we like to grow. Everybody has their preference, the way they like to grow. But we have had to really step out of our comfort zones and learn how to grow in all the different ways: cocoa, soil, hydro, rock wool, and all the different products that we have. Because in order to guide people in the best way, we have to know. So we've really expanded and stepped out of our comfort zones to do that. And
I enjoy it, though. I have a passion. That's why self-teaching is fun. But if I can look at 100 people growing and watch them all and do mine and learn from all of it, it's a blessing.
We're providing knowledge, but we're learning from our customers just as much as we're providing for them.
It's like we're part of your science experiments, and you're part of ours, and we're all coming together at the end and saying, "Here's our results," and then some of us are just blown away. And
people bring in a new problem, and then I have to do some detective work. We figure it out. We're adding to our knowledge base. And one of my favorite things that people do, and I like to do this too, is when they do like experiments or side-by-sides. You can learn so much from doing two different lights or two different growing techniques right next to each other. That's super fun, and that's something that we can share amongst each other in the community. And what we are trying to do is build that. There is a culture, there's a community out there, and we're trying to just really build that, expand on that, add some positive energy to that, up the knowledge in the community, up the grow.
And spread good genetics. There's all these breeders out there. We all want good breeders, and we want a breeder that consistently puts out stuff that makes us happy.
Yeah.
I mean, and we're all looking for that.
Introducing that to you guys. So we're going to be in our show. Our goal is to bring on like professionals from the industry, local artists, but also talk about breeders and and bring them on.
Don't tell them too much yet, but
we
know a lot of people at different facilities and different people that have been in the game for a long time, and I think it's going to be exciting because we actually get them here, and then I can ask them the questions I want too. So we're all going to I want to see what over the years what's going on.
Yeah.
So
things have changed in the industry. I mean, you look at even 20 years ago, if you look at the world 20 years ago, it's way different than it is now. The internet and everything's changed things. It's the same thing with the cannabis industry. It's like fast-paced. We have found the science behind growing, and things have changed.
Yes, for sure. And it's all of us are growing together, and it's going to be like the corn. When you go out in the country right now, tell other people there's all these different genetic corn growers, but they're consistently the same, and that's what we're trying to do with cannabis. We're trying to stabilize and get consistent fire.
Yeah.
And I think once we start doing that, we'll become an exporter of some great stuff, and it'll create an export for us and
Midwest,
in the Midwest.
We want Midwest fire.
And we
That's
got
what
great
we're
soil
looking
here.
for.
We got great soil.
Yeah, that's
So,
what we're known for, right? Growing.
yes, correct.
Yeah.
Hemp, or anything. So,
And when you come to a grow shop, you immediately have a community. You immediately have a network of people that are doing the same thing that you're doing, that are trying the same things you're trying, and that is really what it's all about. And to me, the culture of a grower is you need a community. You need a network. That's part of it. Is you don't want to learn all the lessons the hard way. You want to learn from Steve messing up. And
I like to learn from other people's hard lessons.
That's right. That's the goal.
Like, oh God, I've done that before.
That's right.
I feel bad for you.
This
Sorry.
is a grow shop is a great place to do that. Even if you're not working at one, just to go and hang out there, get to know the people.
But shop at your local grow shop and shop at the one that makes you feel comfortable, not the one that seems too salesy or pushy. The one you feel comfortable in going in and learning. If everybody should be wanting to help you that's in this industry.
That's right.
If they're not, then they might be in it for the wrong reason. So just keep that in mind when you walk into these stores. Are they helpful? Are they passionate?
I think it's important for places like us to uphold the culture, right? And like not lose that. We're not in the banking business here, This is the cannabis business, and just in the growing business, not just cannabis, mushrooms, or just really naturally growing things from the earth. Like, to me, that's something that you have to uphold the culture of.
It's something special.
Yeah,
it's
right.
It's where we're from,
Yeah. So that being said, doing this business, so one of the things that we really wanted to bring to the community was grow classes, because it was something that was missing. Like, I know there's college classes and stuff; those are expensive for people to take. But
before we go to the grow classes, for me and Nichole to take on any work, and we have a family at home too. Personally, I have a couple kids and a wife that allow me to escape that, and come here and spend my time here, and we appreciate that. And Nichole has.
Yeah, I have a couple kids and a husband. My husband's also in the industry. He works at a big cultivation center, and it's nice. Being that our whole family's in the industry and stuff, like, it literally pays our mortgage and pays our bills. So it's something that we are passionate about. We live it. So yeah, it's something that we support. My family supports me. I support his passion.
Yeah, anybody's passionate in this industry, it's hard not to support them and help not, be with. I want them on my team. So
that's right.
Because not everybody's passionate,
No, and that's the thing is we help the home growers. We're here helping the home growers or anybody that wants to kind of go on their own. And then he's in the industry where they're helping the medical patients, and they're making medicine that's going to the dispensaries and stuff. So two different sides of it, but all of it's about that passion.
You've had a few different roles in your past job. Tell us a little about some of the roles and what you did in the commercial industry to help them out.
Yeah, so that's where you found me. So I was a teacher for years. It taught me having patience with people like Steve.
Thank you. It's difficult. Trust me.
That takes practice. But then I went to the grow facility, and I was working out there. I was and I worked at all the different areas. They kind of start you out, and you have to kind of do the grunt work. But I ended up kind of landing myself in the veg area, which you're doing a lot of the pruning. I was in the mom and clone area, so we did a lot of the cloning. And what's really cool about working at a facility like that, what I loved anyway, was seeing all the different strains grown under different lights, HPS, LED, so you really get to see the difference between, like I was talking earlier about side-by-sides experiments. This is at like a huge scale. You get to see that. But you also get to see different mutations, different pests, and different issues that you maybe don't want in your own grow at home, but you get to learn how to deal with them, and then it's somebody else's problem, not your own. I mean, really, that's.
But you were dealing with it on a large scale.
On a large scale, yes.
So that's the most difficult. So, but
yeah. You know what though? You learn so much, and I can implement that into my home grow and pass that information on. I feel like when you're at a large scale like that, because things are so fast paced and that the numbers are so high, that you're gonna go through things that you wouldn't get through in your home grow for maybe years. Like if you ever experience it. So, yeah, super fast paced learning environment. My husband works out there, and my husband was in charge of compliance, and he works with like the Department of Ag and the state police. So he's like the numbers guy. He makes sure everything's in order. But he's been out there for almost a decade, and so literally our whole family is in the industry. Like that's what pays our mortgage, is what pays our bills. My son is in college now, and now he's studying horticulture and soil science, and he loves microbiology. So
you're getting to see it secondhand passed down. That's got to be a proud moment for you.
That's right. I can see the love and passion that we passed on to him.
That's great.
How cool it is to watch that grow inside of him, So that's fun. I like that. And that's what we're hoping to do with other people out there, just ignite that passion in them, get some people that really want to like dig in and get some Midwest fire out there.
Exactly. And stabilize these genetics and share the love.
Yeah.
We'd like to thank the special guest for the music. He goes by the name Marley. Thank you, Marley, for the music. That was quite nice.
Yeah, it was really trippy.
Yeah.
Trippy.
It made me just want to go out in the wilderness barefoot and just start running around and grabbing trees and
ground myself.
Grounding.
Barefoot. Yes, that's right.
I loved it. It's made me kind of reminded me of like maybe the sounds mushrooms make in the wilderness when when we're not there. Like,
have you ever seen that where they go out and listen to plants and mushrooms? Like they have these devices where you can hear the frequencies they make. It's so cool. I want to do that.
Yeah.
When I was like off my rocker on shrooms one time, that like I was hearing that really weird shit. Like I was having audio hallucinations. Like I was.
You should have made music from it. You should have created a song from it.
Yeah.
It would have been famous. It would have taken off.
It's like a crapshoot.
All right. Well, I know I kind of know some methods that you practice, but really, let everybody else know what's going on in your grow. What do you like to use currently right now, and what's working for you, Nichole?
Yeah. So, I grow a couple different ways. Right now, I love to grow organic, and I have Gaia Green nutrients at home that I keep there, and every once in a while I throw an organic grow in there. But right now, my typical way of growing is with salts, and I love House and Gardens nutrients. In fact, I've switched and gone to different nutrients, and I always tend to come back to House and Gardens. And I grow in soil. And it's funny because I do not use their soil line. I actually use their aqua line. Oh. And I'll talk about that when we get a little bit more into it a little bit farther down the road. But my favorite soil is rocket fuel. And I know me and you, we've talked about this before.
Yeah, we need to order a couple pallets, I believe.
We do. We're getting low. But I love rocket fuel. It's a light soil, so like it's fast draining. I want to water my plants every other day. That's my goal as a grower. I want one day a dry back and then water, one day a dry back, water. Rocket fuel allows that.
Yeah, that dry back, I feel like makes a difference. Super,
super important. And so like it is a soil that has perlite, it's got peat moss, it's got a little bit of cocoa in it, and it's an amended soil. It's fully amended, but it's not going to take you all the way through your grow. So I like to let it take my plants for about the first week or two, and then I start adding my nutrients from there.
Nice.
And then I love to add some Power SI, like a silica base to my nutrients. So I always start with my silica base and then add my other nutrients on top of that. And I add a little bit of this and a little bit of that. I have a PK boost from Heavy 16 that I really like. I always add some recharge and fish shit when they're in the vegetative state. And I always use like a mycorrhizae like Great White when we're doing like the transplanting and stuff. So I definitely have.
Now, what I've noticed is in growers, if they've seen a lot, you notice she's not just, I'm just running one recipe. She adds some things too because she understands it from a different angle. And she feels like maybe certain companies provide a better micro or a better bacillus or whatever it is. and it's cool to see. So you listen to her recipe, and of course everyone's recipe is different. But
Well, I've pieced mine together, through the years, and I'm always changing. It's like a baker or a chef. You're always changing it and adding to it. You have your base, your foundation, but you're gonna always kind of tweak it here and there.
yeah, I totally agree. And we're always changing. And then when you get stuff dialed in, it's tough to add something or take something away and move,
Yeah.
replace it. But it's
Sometimes
stressful.
you end up going back. Sometimes you'll try something new and then be like, nope, I'm going back to my original
Yep.
recipe.
I've been there, done
Yeah.
that.
What about you? Tell me what your and on that note, before we move on to your recipe here, in my grow right now, I actually have a 5x5 tent flowering, and I'm doing a pheno hunt on it. So I popped 12 seeds, and 11 of them germinated, 3 different strains, and so I have multiples of each strain that I'm trying to kind of see what the best is. So I have them in 2-gallon pots. My tent is stuffed full, though,
Nice.
like stuffed full. But it's from Lit Farms. It's a run from Lit Farms.
Trying to find that good pheno. It's important.
Trying to find that good pheno.
Not just
yeah.
popping one and expecting amazing results.
That's right. Yeah. So we're gonna see what we can come up with. And I'll have to run them again a couple times. I'll pick the ones that I want, and we'll run them through again. Make sure they're the studs that I'm looking for. So that's what I got going on right now. What about you?
Me, I like a 70-30 mix, and sometimes I'll run stuff with like the Loco if it has the worm castings and transplant into that just before I flower. But
You like straight cocoa.
I like the 70-30, yeah.
70-30 is great.
It's got to
such a
have
good
30% perlite. If not, I seem to overwater.
Yeah.
I don't like overwatering, but I recognize it when it happens, and I really feel like that 70-30 mix is a good mix to help me control the amount of water I'm giving it. And if I give it a little too much, it's a little more forgiving than just a
right.
soil mix.
I agree.
So, but I'm also running heavy 16. Now, I run that nutrient line the way I want to run it. I throttle it back, and I read my plant. So I don't follow it to a T. I measure stuff, but it's all in my head now. I kind of, get to the point where we read the plant. I'm sure you like that too, a little bit with Aquaflakes.
100%. Yeah. There are times when I might just do the Power SI silica, which is very basic trace nutrients in it too, and just give it that, or sometimes just straight water because I got to dial it back a little bit, or I have to up my nutrients because I notice my plant's hungry. You can kind of just, but I don't follow the recipe.
Yeah.
I have my own way.
And we're going to have a whole episode on reading your plant, walking into the room, and we're going to show you guys examples, and that'll be in the future here, but we're definitely going to do that. We really encourage that. Then you can help other people too.
Yeah.
So
I can tell you right now in my home grow, so I took clones of all the ones I have in my flower tent, obviously, because I'm doing a pheno hunt. And so I have all of those. They're teenagers right now. And one of them is showing such signs of hunger. Like, I would have to make a whole new reservoir of newts just to feed that one, which I don't. But I can tell that it's hunger. I know that one I was going to have a higher recipe for it.
Yep, and I find that the bigger the buds, the more hungry they are. Do you see that
man,
too?
yeah.
Like the big sativa or big...
The sativas will eat more, or
Yep,
something that's
the tall
going to really
plants.
have some weight to it.
Yeah,
It just seems to go, like that cherry gorilla, man, that is a thirsty bitch.
Hungry,
She's
too.
So, man, like so much. You can't hardly even keep up.
Yeah, I also like 1 week I'll run Power SI with my nutrient line, and then the next week I'll run Great White.
Yeah,
And
absolutely, yeah.
I really feel like it's made a difference.
Yep.
And I like bouncing around because it's not like, I'm getting these different beneficial bacterias and stuff from different companies, maybe sourced differently. I feel like I'm getting a more well-rounded dose for
That's
the
what
plants.
it's all about, yeah. Well, you're building up that microbiology in the soil, letting that work for you while you're also feeding the plant. And that's really huge.
And that's very important.
Well, when you're doing things like adding silica or the mycorrhizae or the recharge, you're expanding and growing the roots. You're feeding the roots, which bigger roots, bigger fruits, and that's your goal, right? You're always trying to get better roots.
Uptake more and
Yeah.
yeah.
So what else do you do besides heavy 16?
I run multiple different styles of lights. Maybe we'll get into that in a future episode.
Yeah,
but I like to run powerful lights. It has to be at least close to 700 watts or bigger for me to stick over my 4x4 or 5x5 space. How do you feel about it?
Yeah, I'm running a 780 in my 5x5 right
There you
now.
go.
Yeah, so
And-
I agree. I always say 680 or higher, but you
Yeah.
might as well just say 700 and higher. That's pretty much what
Yeah, as long as you can control the heat, and take it up to 1,000. But you got to be able to move that air, move that heat.
Yeah, I'd love to push 1,000, but yeah, I'd have to have a little bit more control.
It might cost you a
my
little
goal.
more too in electricity for heating and cooling, or cooling at least.
That's all right. I had an electrician come over and build me a whole electrical setup for my grow.
It's
just
always
for my grow.
it's always good to have a good electrician friend in your
It
life.
really is. It really
So
is.
if you know anybody, lock them in.
Yes. Do you keep mom plants around?
Yeah, I protect certain mothers,
Yeah.
certain mothers that have been with us from the beginning, and I just certain genetics, and I feel like I need to protect them. I don't know if that's selfish of me.
No,
but
there's some genetics that are worth keeping around.
I share these genetics, but
do.
I got to lock them in somewhere where I feel like I can keep them safe and healthy, and
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. We're always looking for new moms, though, and new genetics. So we're popping seeds all the time, looking for something new. But we definitely have our library of keepers that we keep alive.
Yeah, and we can get into that here in the future too. Talk about all these amazing genetics and
What
and,
strains we think are worth keeping around.
and where they came from. I mean, a lot of these plants we have now have a story. A lot of them just aren't from a seed that we popped. There's a story behind some of these genetics, and I feel like they're worthy of hearing the stories, and it makes you want to grow the plant and understand where it came from and
Yeah.
who was using it and why, and it's just everything. I love our genetics. The
I
stuff
agree.
the stuff that we keep in in store.
I want to get to the point where we're really getting into the tissue culture. We've started to dabble in it, but we really need to dive
Yep.
in so we can start saving these genetics that we love so much.
Yep. We have a YouTube LevelUP Gardening.
Where we feature products that we have in shop and just tell you about the product, how to use it properly, what it's good for, just really laying it out for you on what we find to be helpful. And like before, we were talking about the grow classes. That's another thing that we started together, which my background is in teaching. So I was a teacher for years before I got into this industry, and it taught me to have to learn to have patience, especially with people like Steve here. So I learned to be able to be in his world. that's where I got. That's why I'm
everywhere.
surviving. That's
I'm
why
everywhere.
surviving this.
That's why I build a good team that's like
My
can
years
help
of
me.
teaching.
I'm like, where's my keys? Nicole's like, that's over there on the second shelf. Thank you.
That's true.
I need a good team.
But yeah, that led us to collaborating and saying, hey, let's create these classes. We can make a curriculum of grow classes that are going to help people from beginning to end. And we have multiple classes now. We have a beginning class that is really just from seed to harvest, how to get started. We have a pruning, topping, and cloning class, which is hands-on. You get to really learn how to prune and morph your plants into what you want them to be, plus learn how to clone and keep those strains. We have a nutrition class where we talk about all the nutrition deficiencies that you might come across, how to feed your plant properly. We have a drying and curing class. That one's really important because it teaches you how to dial in the very last part of your grow, which everybody seems to struggle with, and have the best tasting flower out there. We have an edibles class. That one's really great. It talks about dosing and how to properly dose your edibles. We have a breeding class, which that one's exciting. We're gonna have a podcast on that one here.
Yep. Also, on some of our classes, the mycology class, the mushroom stuff is really taking off right now.
Super exciting, definitely. That's such a big, there's a big boom in that industry right now. Everybody's wanting to learn how to grow mushrooms, and
Yeah.
this is just my personal belief, but fungus is going to save the world. This is what I believe. I really do. It's going to be the answer to a lot of our illnesses and stuff.
Yep. And the fungus is among us, so
Fungus is
we might as well deal with it.
It's all below us for sure. Yeah, everywhere
Yeah.
you walk,
Yeah, they know. They're talking.
they are talking. That they're intelligent like that.
Correct.
So much fun. So these classes are awesome. They're super rewarding. You leave with a lot of knowledge. Some of the classes you leave with, one of them you leave with a clone. Edibles, you get some, you get a little taste of some edibles. So you get to come have fun. You're networking with people, just like we talked about. You're upping your knowledge, leveling up your game, And
And you-
probably leave them with a couple goodies too.
And I guarantee you'll make friends.
Absolutely.
Everybody's friends here now. We seem to attract the culture, and everybody seems to lift each other up. It's great. It's a great little community.
How many people do you think we've taught now? I mean, I think it's a couple
in,
hundred.
in
at least.
Springfield, because we're teaching in Springfield and East Peoria right now. I would say it's a few hundred in both places.
Yeah, that's been through. So that's gaining traction, and we encourage anybody to come, check those out, because that's, I think, really a great community to be in.
And these classes isn't something me and Nichole just got on the internet and was pulled off the internet. We sat down here with a paper, me and her, and everything we've learned over our life and through this store, and fast forward over 3 years, is in the book. Me and Nichole hope you can join us for our future, maybe even weekly episodes, if there's enough of you that want to watch us. But we're going to bring in, and we're going to talk with a lot of professional people that are good at what they do.
That's right. A lot of local professionals, and some local growers too that are really digging in and getting into the nitty gritty of it.
And Nichole don't know this, but I also want to bring in maybe a customer every now and then that's grown a certain way, and we can bring them in and pick their brain on their experience with maybe a certain nutrient line or a certain light. And I think it'll be cool, and it's going to be a great learning experience for everyone every time.
The goal is just to share knowledge with you guys, get local people that are living the life, and just talk to them about what's going on. We're going to have different breeders on here. We're going to have different growers on here, different music artists on here that are living in the culture.
So our next episode, Nichole, tell them a little about who are we having on again?
Yeah, so my buddy Andrew Cash is going to be on next episode, and I worked with him at Revolution at the Cultivation Center. And Andrew, we call him Cash. It's such a cool name. He gets to sign things with a $sign. Like, that's cool. You know, like, that's just money right
Well, he
there.
got to do some really cool things and live with some really cool people that shaped him and made him who he is. He has a great story. As far as I know, I don't know him too much, but
he's got his
I'm excited to have him on.
Now he does. He has his own seed company. So he's going to talk about that and give us a little bit of
and
breeding practice.
The other thing is Andrew Cash is teaching our breeder class also. So
he is, yeah. And so that's something that he's going to talk about a little bit on the next show.
So it's exciting. So who doesn't want to learn from that guy? I mean,
honestly,
I'm going to be here for it. So
yeah, and honestly, when you get to talk to people like that are passionate and really get into it, like, we could go on and on for hours. So we'll try to make sure that we reel it into the really interesting parts for you guys.
Thanks for watching, and hopefully you can tune in next week with our next episode.
Yeah, click and subscribe so you can catch us on our next episode.
Peace. See you guys soon.
I need just a little reefer. You see, smoking sweet as Chiba. A jazz cabbage in my lettuce patch. Sweet fumas in the monta.
Hold on. We're live on the podcast, sir. I'm recording. Your caller number 16. If you answer our grow question correct, that Nichole's going to read to you, you win 2 bags of soil. Are you ready?
Okay.
All right, go ahead, Nichole, with the question. Whatever you want. Go ahead. She's going with the question now. This question is about pH.
What is the proper pH for your plants when they are in veg?
6.5.
That is incorrect.
I'm sorry, sir.
6.
Hey, sir, gotta let you go. Sorry about that. Try again next time.
6 is better. 6 is better.
Okay, sorry. Try again. We're going to take next caller, sir.
Who was that?
Magic Mike.
That was Magic Michael.
Mr. Bubble got some fun.
Hilarious. I love it.
Or something like that. We look natural. We look like the news people, because the news people always do this. They're like,
They do. It does look a little bit more normal. That's why I grabbed my coffee mug. It feels better.
It's so good. It's so good. So good on the lipsies. I can taste the diabetes.
Maybe we should just
Mike's
have
got
the
can of sugar.
outro
oh my
like-
God.
That
No wonder.
No wonder.
I'm gonna look right into the camera. I'm gonna tell him what I think.
You tell him.
We hope you can enjoy. We hope you enjoy what you look at.